Welcome in for another week with KayWay Times Surfs Up. What do we got planned for today, Surfs?
Lots of reselling talk and looking at some stores. My
We got
store is
one,
not perfect, but I love looking at other stores.
we got one lined up, ready to go. If we have time, we might take another from chat. If not, we'll push it off till next week and we'll grab another person's store. But I got it loaded up and ready to go. Let's go.
Nice.
We're going to be mean too, aren't we? We're going to be like, you
It's
need to
called
fix all this.
constructive criticism. Very good at it as a teacher with the kids. Constructive criticism. But for later on in the chat, guys, you can leave if you want to leave your store or whatever, or message us. We can take a look at those. Obviously, a lot of people message us, and then in the future weeks, we may look at your stores.
Yeah.
So be prepared.
Yeah, you might want to wait till after we do this store review so you see how harsh we are, and then you can drop your store review at the end.
Oh, man. Yeah, it would be nice. What's up, Gladys and Sophie? Everyone, thanks for coming in.
Yeah, appreciate everybody hopping in. Bobby's here too. How's your week this week, Surfs? Anything in particular happen?
Let's talk about sales. I don't know. I would say earlier this week, my sales were slow. And then, it's on and off in this thing. We've been doing it long enough, but sales are slow. Monday, Tuesday, I even listed. And then the last day they've picked up.
Yeah,
I don't know about you.
I think this weekend was a little slower for me because last Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I really didn't list much, even though I had a ton in drafts. And then starting on Sunday, I started listing 30 per day again. And then sales were good. Yesterday, I think I packed up 14 orders this morning on live. So that's a pretty good day for me. And then, of course, you got Whatnot on top of that really carries those numbers. I was talking to my chat earlier this week. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I may hit 1,000 items sold in 1 month this month. So that's my goal. We have 2 Whatnot shows coming up. So that's going to help. It's going to be an extra 140 listings. So we should be right on the edge of that 1,000 items sold in 1 month. So that'd be pretty cool.
And I'd say anyone in the chat too. We can talk all reselling. So if you have questions about Whatnot, obviously KayWay can answer those for you guys. He has always good advice. If you're not in the lives on other platforms, he always talks about it. So not just eBay, just reselling in general. So he usually says, just offhand, if you're selling on Whatnot, you can expect 20 to 30% less than you would on eBay.
Yeah, well, it depends how long you've been doing Whatnot for. If you just started it, you're going to expect a lot less. You're going to run items that might go for 35 on eBay, and you might get 10 on Whatnot until you build up a following. As soon as you build a following, those prices will raise, of course. But before we move on I want to shout out Carol Ann is doing a show on Wednesday. I'm going to be helping running the show. We're actually going to do it out of my house on Wednesday. So what's going to happen? It's for Jory. Jory's going through a tough time. He's got cancer all throughout his body right now. Another fellow reseller. So what we're doing is we're putting on this show. All the proceeds go to Jory. All the items have been donated. So it's just everything after fees goes right to him. We have some crazy pieces that have been donated during our show. Carol Ann showed tonight on live. She has a limited edition Robert Graham 100% silk shirt. It's numbered at a 250. That's going to be auctioned at $1. Everything's going to be starting at $1. So it's going to be a lot of fun. You guys are going to get some deals. And then, of course, it goes to a good cause, somebody who's going through a tough time. So on Wednesday, if you're not following Carol Ann Tax Lady on Whatnot, if you don't know, you can't find her, that's completely fine. I'm going to make a show right before hers. We're going to do it. I'm probably going to give something away and maybe run one of my items. Of course, that's going to go towards Jory. And then I'm going to raid Carol Ann. So as long as you're following me, you'll see me go live. Just hang out in my live, and we're just going to push everybody over to Carol Ann. And then 100 items, clothing, I think a little bit of hard goods. It should be a lot of fun. But Carol Ann showed how much stuff she's been donated. She has a mound of stuff. People have donated stuff from all over the United States. All went to Carol Ann, and we're going to be running that show for Jory. So make sure you come out. It's all for him. It's all helping somebody else out that's going through a tough time. So make sure you come out. Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Wednesday, November the.
Yeah, it's November the 1st because Tuesday is Halloween, so it's Wednesday would be the 1st.
November the 1st. So if you're watching this later, November the 1st. And yeah, if you guys don't know Jory, just dude, like you said, he's in tons of pain, cancer all over his body, and you wouldn't know it. He's more positive than 95% of the people in this world.
Yeah,
So, going to be
100%.
going out for a good cause for sure.
Yep. I see a lot of what happened with my mom and him. She was super positive through the whole thing, and that's what he's trying to be, because that's the only thing you can be. You can just be positive through the whole thing. It's hard. If you're negative, you just let it eat you alive. So you got to try to stay as positive as possible. That's what he's trying to do. So we're trying to help him out and stay positive, help him with his bills. Also, if you guys send anything to Carol Ann, because she has a couple videos up, if it comes after the show, it's completely fine, because she's actually going to be sending out those items to his kids to list, because right now they can't really go sourcing. They still have school and stuff like that. So they're going to actually be listing those extras to keep their business running too. So you're helping both ways, both with straight up money in the show and then also with listing at the end.
For sure.
But yeah, Joel said, did you get the jeans I sent you? I haven't. Did you send them to me or send them to Carol Ann? If you sent them to me, I haven't got them yet. But I'll check for them in the mail. I mean, I might have got them today because I got 2 packages today. It's at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Sophia, on the first.
Just got it. Can you list Carol Ann's social media? Yeah, I'll tell you what. After this, or you could write it. You could type it in the chat.
Yeah, it's on Whatnot. It's Carol Ann Tax Lady. Carol Ann Tax Lady on Whatnot. Again, if you can't follow her, just follow me on Whatnot. I'm going to rate her anyway. If somebody has it in the chat right now, if you could just drop it in the chat wherever you are. I think let me look up, make sure I'm getting the spelling right, because I don't know if she has any underscores in her name. But let me look it up really quick.
Sure. In the meantime, there again, they put it in there. Joel got it.
Got it. Yep. He's only on YouTube.
Joel.
He's only on YouTube. So let me
Gotcha.
Let me find this. Carol Ann. It's Carol Ann the Tax Lady. This is what it is on Whatnot. I'm about to write it in all the chats. Let me spell this right. Watch me mess up the spelling. And the Tax Lady. Okay. I'm sure this goes to your chats, but if not, just read it on mine first, and you can add it to yours at the end.
Yep. We got it.
All right. We're good to go. So, yeah. We'll take some questions from the chat. If you guys have any reselling questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. When do you want to do the store view? Do you want to do it in the beginning? Do you want to do it at the end?
Let's wait a little bit. I'm curious to know, I don't know, where the farthest place from here. I saw people are saying where they're from. What's up, Ohio, Indiana? Want to know people, because there are people from the Australia that contact me, and I'm sure you too.
Yep. I get people from Canada too, and they're like, how do you sell? Because the Canadian shipping is so high. I'm like, I don't know.
I don't know. New York. Yeah. I don't know. South Carolina, Michigan. And see, that's the cool thing also, because we're all talking together, and there's no competition, even with friends in town. Like, I trade stuff with friends. That Grateful Dead shirt I posted, I traded that for an Arc'teryx jacket.
Nice.
So he collects vintage. I do this. He had it on his Depop, and I'm like, that won't sell. He goes, I know. It'll sell on your eBay. And I said, I know. So we traded. So it's nice that we have all these people from all over. No one's in competition with each other. Maryland, Nebraska, Iowa, upstairs.
That's why I tell people too, like when people say you're giving away all your secrets, it really doesn't matter. The only time it would hurt me is if you lived in my town, like, and I gave you a brand and somehow you got there before me and got the item. But if you like live in New York and I tell you go pick up Arc'teryx jackets and you go find one, how does that hurt me? Like, I'm never going to be in New York to find that item. So it really doesn't hurt me at all.
The wheel's always churning. Recently this week I put, and you've been doing it long enough too, you know how the styles go in and out. So as soon as something comes in and everyone's got a hook on it, that's out. Something else is new. So you got to keep your ear to the ground, guys.
I got a little shameless plug too. Hold on, I got to check really quick. Really quick. I should have checked this before the live. So
shameless plug. Here we go.
Shameless plug.
Alaska, Joel. No, man, you got me excited. Oregon. There you go, Nancy.
If you're watching this on Surf's Facebook and you don't follow my Facebook, I just need 4 more people to follow me and I'll hit 100,000 followers on Facebook. I need 4 more. I'm at 99996. So if you're following on Surfs, if you could just come over and follow me so I can hit 100K tonight, I would appreciate it.
There you go.
This close.
You were actually at what did I look at you the other day? You're at 69, something 69. I almost posted it on if you guys don't know, it's KayWay's favorite number. I almost posted it online, but I looked at it was like the perfect timing. It was something 69.69. I don't know what it was. It's one of your sites.
Probably.
So,
I probably put it on purpose too.
I know.
I found more Outer Known today, says Joel. You know Outer Known, don't you? Outer Known's a really good brand.
Yeah. So actually, I've never found a down jacket. Outer Known. I found a down jacket. But they're known for Outer Known. Everyone knows, I think by now, Kelly Slater, the surfer, that's his brand. And the stuff that sells best for them, for me, are the flannels.
Yep. Yeah, I found some yesterday. I actually left them behind. They were board shorts, Outer Known board shorts. But when you look up comps, especially now, I mean, it's going to be super hard to sell heading into the winter months. But I ended up leaving behind. They were like, I think they wanted like $750 for them. And even at that, I wasn't going to pick them up and let them sit. So I figured I'd give them to somebody else. Let somebody else have.
For sure. Also, I wonder how many people, I want to know, guys, in the chat too, like how many years, how many months have people been selling? Because, we're going into this new season. So it's a new taste for some people, like figuring out that, at least for me, you're not going to be selling a ton of polos or shorts or swimsuits, like you just said. It's the name of the game. Yeah, of course, you're going to sell one or two or whatever, but they're not going to be flying out the door.
Yeah, I've seen it a lot too. Like when I get questions on YouTube, it seems like YouTubers that come in my lives, they're well more versed in reselling. They've been reselling for a while, but it seems like the Facebook group is all the newer resellers. You get a lot of the newer questions. Have you seen that too on your lives?
Yeah. I see a lot of, like right now, 3 months, April, March, stuff like that, and people doing really, really well. Like I keep saying, like way faster than what I did when I started.
Yeah, for sure. The good thing is there's so much free knowledge, and before it was just pretty much like you go on YouTube and Instagram to look up stuff, and now you can go on any platform you ever go on social media, and there's some kind of reselling content that's like giving you a bunch of free information. So take advantage of it while you can. Come to lives like this. I'm sure there's other resellers doing the same exact thing that you can go learn a bunch from too. So take advantage of it.
And ours is free. How about that?
It is free. We got a question earlier that we missed. How do you calculate shipping so you don't lose money? How do you do shipping serfs?
So I sell everything on eBay, and I do buyer pay shipping. I do it calculated. So you just have to know when you're putting in your item, before you list it, you have to know exactly what you're shipping it out in, the dimensions and the weight. And as long as you have that calculated shipping, you shouldn't lose any money on the eBay side.
Yep, same thing I do. Just put in the weight and dimensions. You should be good. Your wife said you're not showing up live on your own platforms. Is it supposed to be that way? I think you're live on yours, right?
No, I'm not.
Is it? So it's just on mine when we do restream. Oh, did you not hook up you probably didn't hook up your thing. No, you did.
Hey, everybody. Welcome in at 12 minutes and 54 seconds. There you go. I appreciate you coming to my live.
A wifey for the win. Wifey for
the win. Thank you for coming into the live. We just talked about shipping, and we'll just run that down real quick. Calculated shipping for me on eBay. Same for Wayne. All right. On to the next question.
So I was like wondering why there's only like 50 people in here. I'm like, oh, Brad's not live. Yeah.
Whoops. So your shameless plug didn't even work.
You're lucky my internet didn't go down. We would have had nobody in here.
Got you. First, all right. Now we got some people in.
There we go.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's okay. All right. We've just been on live for like 10 minutes now. Brad just plugged in his computer. He's good to go. Now we're running.
I always forget. It's something different when we do it. When we do it together, it's always different.
It's always different. Different ways. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah. So, but we used to start in August. Watched you surf, and I started in August. Man, that might be the newest, Megan.
When did you start doing TikTok? Was that back in August? Is when you started? No, you started way before.
February.
February? Okay.
Everything I started in February.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
I pretty much, for those of you who don't know, I quit my job in August. I gave them 2 weeks. I don't even know why. They just had me to quit my job in August of last year. And so from August to about January, I kind of fiddled and farted and sold stuff online, whatever. And then I got my wife and everyone was like, you should do online stuff. You should do online stuff. So February is when I did that. And so I'm doing that and eBay full on. Gotcha. With KayWay.
With KayWay. Yeah. I think you probably we started. So probably like March, April is when I had you on my live, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Somewhere around there. I had a couple people in my live, said, "Hey, did you watch this guy?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I watched a couple of his videos." And then I reached out to you, had you on my live, and then now it's been a bromance ever since. It's
Bromance.
love at first sight.
This wacky, crazy guy making up fake sales.
Have you ever sold to someone almost next door to you, wanted to hand deliver the item to reimburse shipping? It would be so kind. Have you ever sold to somebody like right down the street?
They try. I don't end up there for a while. When I first started out, I was the nice guy and whatever, but they're just trying to save on shipping, and then you're not also protected with eBay.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get in trouble with eBay. If they find a message that says that you are selling outside their platform, they can suspend you. So when that happens, I say, I'm sorry, I don't do local meetups. You can buy off eBay, the platform itself.
If you wanted to do local pickup, you actually can, before they purchase it, you can set your listing to local pickup. I actually did one. It was a couple years back. I don't really get much of them, but there was a guy that hit me up and he needed a Christmas decoration right before Christmas. He's like, "Hey, I live right up the street from you. Is there any way we can do a local pickup?" I said, "Sure." So you have to change your listing to have local pickup in the listing. And eBay has a really cool functionality now where you get a QR code on your phone. So basically, when they come and they meet up with you, they scan the QR code with their phone, and then it tells eBay that the item has been picked up, and then everything's good. And you don't really have to worry about returns or anything when that happens because the person sees the item in front of them. So you can always switch it up, do the local meetup if you want to. But if the buyer purchased something and they didn't ask for the local meetup, I wouldn't like message them on the side and say, "Hey, you live right down the street. I'll do a local meetup." Just ship the item and get it to them because they didn't ask for it.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Usually when people ask me, it's because they want to save on shipping. So they want me to drive across town or halfway across town so they can save on shipping. And I'm just not going to do that.
Yeah, I don't do. I used to do Facebook Marketplace last year in the beginning of this year, and I got a lot of people that wanted to do meetups. I always told them, if you live close to me, I'll just ship it to you. You'll get it next day anyway. You're going to meet up with me tomorrow, so why not just buy it now and I'll just ship it to you. You'll have it at your front door tomorrow, because most of the time those people flake. So it'll come to like 15 minutes before. You'll be getting the item ready to go, and they'll be like, I can't come today. Let's do it next week. And then I'm like, no, let's not do it at all. I'll just ship the item to you if you want it. So that's I don't really try to do much local meetups at all.
Their names are flakes. That's what we call them around here.
100%. 100%. If you do calculated shipping on eBay and get the weight wrong, are you able to adjust after they purchase? I've always done flat rate. Yes, you can adjust afterwards. So for all of my clothing, I don't know if you do the same thing, but for all my clothing, I put 10 ounces in there. If it's under a pound, I'll just put 10 ounces in it and I'll charge it. Even if it's calculated, I'll charge it to the customer. If it's free shipping, I'll just leave it at free shipping, and then I'll adjust the weight afterwards. The reason I do 10 ounces is because if it ends up being like 15 ounces, the eBay discount will actually cover the surplus. So if it's like, it normally comes out to like $6.44 and the buyer paid $6.45. So I pretty much, my shipping is covered either way. So I always just put it flat in at 10 ounces. Do you do the same thing or do you weigh everything?
I don't weigh everything. I just have like the knowledge of how much everything weighs. And I always give myself a little wiggle room up. Yep. So yeah, polos, 10 ounces, stuff like that. Yep. But yeah, you can definitely go in and adjust it. I mean, right off when you're printing the labels, there are times where I have to adjust stuff.
Yep. If you want to be really safe, if it's under a pound, just put 15 ounces on everything, and you know you're going to make money on it. I always try to do 10 ounces because if it ends up being 10 ounces, the buyer actually pays a little bit less, so you might actually get a couple more sales.
So you heard that. If you want to play it really safe, put 15 ounces on it, and you should be okay if you're sending it under a pound.
Yep, because even if it's ground advantage and it goes over a pound, normally even that 15 ounces will cover that extra little surplus you get for sending it over a pound. Susan says, since March, have learned a lot from watching both of your videos. Why I like online selling, not having to deal with meetups. Yes, 100%.
I'm with you.
We got Bridget says, how do you make money on free shipping? I'll take this one because you don't do a lot of free shipping. I actually switched my model recently, and I do a lot of charge shipping now. I think most of this listing now is charge shipping. But the way you make money on shipping is you just work the cost of the label into the cost of your item. So let's say I'm going to list something for $30 plus shipping, and on average, my label for that item should be right around $5 because it's an ounce item, I'll just list it for $35. It's the same exact thing. It's either $30 or $35 free shipping. That's how you do it. I've always done it, is just work that label cost right into my item.
Yep. Don't do free shipping.
Yeah, Surfs doesn't do free shipping. And I changed my model simply because I watched a lot. Like, you know what? Let's try this no shipping thing. And now people are paying more for my items, which is crazy. But
it might change next year because it's always one or the other.
Yep. Have you ever tried buying clothes at Goodwill and selling to Plato's Closet? Have you ever done that?
I haven't, but I do know people that go to the bins and do that. So they look for vintage items only, and they'll pick up vineyard vines or whatever, and they'll take all that stuff to Plato's Closet.
Yep. I seen a girl, I don't know what her name is on TikTok, but she does that. Like, she'll show the video of her taking the stuff from the bins and just immediately going to Plato's and making all of her money back. And then whatever she wants to list on eBay, she's pretty much paid it off. So now she just takes the other stuff and lists it on eBay. It's a smart move. Of course, you can sell that stuff for more because Plato's is selling it for more. But you get all your money back instantly. It's like free money, basically.
And you just drop it off.
Yep. Here's one from your chat from Justin. Justin says, what keywords are good to use while listing? How do you choose your keywords?
I don't put a lot of things in. I don't use all the, what would you call those? All the spaces, all the characters?
Yeah.
All the characters. No. Yeah. I usually just start out with the name of the item. What keywords are good to use? So let's say this Polo Ralph Lauren, or I mean, this Nike right here. So it's new with tags, or actually, yeah, it's new with tags. So I'll put new. What I like to do is right at the beginning, not NWT. I don't like NWT. I like putting new, because a lot of people who are just getting on, like if my mom were to get on, she had no idea what NWT stands for. Mm-hmm. So I always like to put new at the very beginning, and then the item. Nike, white, all over print sweatshirt, men's size, then maybe the color, whatever, and keep it at that. Something like that.
You're putting in the words that you think people will look up to find your item. So, for example, he said all over check. Like that could be something somebody could write in all over check, and then yours would pop up. You can use the fabric. You can use style, color, just anything. And you can look at both of our stores. Both of our stores are linked in our bios. Feel free to go through and see exactly the kind of keywords that we're using in our listings. They're just simply words that are just going to help the people find your listings. If they didn't just search for Nike, but they looked for all over print, yours would pop up because you put the word all over print in there. So, yeah.
And definitely make sure you think, the era too, Y2K, 90s, 80s, vintage, all that stuff.
Yeah. And I also don't do NWT on eBay because, like you said, people don't know NWT. When I do Whatnot, though, I put NWT in the front because I let people know right in the beginning of the auction, hey, anything that says NWT on it is the new with tag items. Everything else is pre-owned. So you can kind of explain that on a Whatnot show, but you can't explain it on eBay. Mm-hmm. Sorry, this is a Whatnot question, but how do you determine which items you're going to sell on Whatnot versus what you list on eBay and Poshmark? Good question. I get this question all the time. My answer is simply we list on Whatnot mainstream high-end brands that you think of when you're out there sourcing that everybody knows, like Polo Ralph Lauren, Lululemon, North Face, stuff like that people know, like really, really know. And then we also, if they're like loud patterns. So with Whatnot, you only have 30 seconds to capture the person's attention. So if I have something that has a really loud pattern all over print, people might be like, oh, that's really cool. I want that. So you have very short time. So if you can capture their attention with one piece, you can sell that piece really easily. So also Disney pieces, stuff like that. Like people have like, what's the word I'm looking for? They have like a connection with that piece, and they'll spend a little bit more on it because they see it right there in front of them, because again, they only have a short period of time to buy it. Niche items, such as like Outer Known we were talking about before, that's not a piece I would put on Whatnot because not a lot of people know it. So I would keep that for eBay or Poshmark. And then the lower end items under like $35, I'll normally always list those on eBay and Poshmark. Yep. Somebody says Plato's doesn't pay that much. Yes, they don't pay that much. Don't. There's a way to read the tag. Somebody explained it, like they have the price they paid on like the tag or like within the like barcode so you can like tell how much they paid for each piece.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys use ring lights or box lights to take pictures? How do you take your pictures, Surfs?
See, these are the great questions because you have both of us here who do completely different things, and we both sell stuff.
Yep.
So I use actually the kitchen lights. So I've had the umbrella lights, I've had the ring lights. I actually have a small light box, which I still have is good. But what worked best for me is just my wood floor in my kitchen and using my kitchen lights. They're all over, so I don't have a shadow. That works well for me. If I add in any sunlight, it will ruin my picture. So for me, that works. If I didn't have that, it would have to be just UV light, like in the natural sunlight.
Do you take pictures of shoes the same way, or do you put those in your light box?
I would, but I took my light box down like you did, my little one.
Okay.
So they turn out fine on that wood.
Yeah, I take mine in this light box. So my mother-in-law, she does a lot of the listings now. She takes the photos in the large light box. And then I have another light box that's portable that I set up in the morning over to my left. She takes all the close-up photos in there. We were taking them straight on the table for a little bit. Then we opted back to do the light box because I actually cleaned this room up a little bit. Now we have more room. But yeah, we use 2 light boxes for all of our photos. Gets us those nice, clean, crisp photos. But like Serge was saying, if you take your photos in your house, just make sure you're checking the photos afterwards and making sure, like, if you need more natural light, add it. You can really tell when you snap a picture of like a solid black shirt, whether that shirt's coming out good on the photos or if it's coming out bad. Because if there's any like discrepancy, the buyer might get it and be like, hey, I thought this was like a soft black and it's a dark black. Like, I want to be able to return this because I need a certain thing. So make sure you're always checking your photos afterwards, especially when you first start doing this.
Yeah, definitely. I think photos are one of the most important things. And stick around, guys, because we're going to be looking at stores. So
we got somebody's store ready to go. So as soon as we run out of questions, we'll hop there and start doing some. And then while we're doing the store review, if you guys have any questions about what we're saying about the store review, feel free to leave those in the chat as well. What can we not sell on eBay? I know nothing that requires prescriptions. Words we can't use. What's a word you can't use on eBay?
So we call those Veroed words. So that's what eBay, that's the official term for it. The ones that I know are onesie, Velcro, and Kevlar. Those are 3 that I know that are things that I would pick up, and they'll take them down immediately.
Yep. My mother-in-law was listing a jacket the other day, and she put the word Velcro in the title. And I went to list it on eBay. I didn't catch it. I was just quickly going through the listing, making sure everything was good, and I missed the word Velcro. And I went to list it, and eBay popped up a little error message and said, you can't list this because it has the word Velcro in it. They have a whole little spiel they give you. So Velcro is one of those words you can't. I know you have to use the word hook and loop. You can't use Velcro. So it's annoying. But yeah, don't even try. Don't even put it in your item specifics.
Nope.
Nothing. Don't put it anywhere in your listing because it will get Veroed automatically. There's actually a Vero list on eBay. You can read it. There are some brands on there. For example, I think Nike's on there. You can still sell Nike on eBay. They're not going to Vero you. But if you're selling like fake Nike, of course, they're going to catch that. And
I got Veroed one time for putting Nike Colhan Air, I think.
Yeah. So
even though they're a collab.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that have had that too. I don't think they have that collab anymore, so that's why you're not allowed to do that. Gotcha. That's what I've heard, but who knows? Weird. Also, I was selling when I first started selling, I actually ordered some AirPods from Alibaba that were off-brand AirPods, and I put iPhone compatible. And as soon as I put iPhone compatible, they took down my listing because I'm not allowed to put the word iPhone in a non-iPhone. Non-AirPod. So the fake AirPods, you can't use iPhone in anything. You can just say compatible with all Bluetooth, but you can't use iPhone. So yeah.
And Debbie, you could probably go on Google and put eBay Vero words and probably give you every single one of them.
What if it's actually a Gerber brand onesie since they're the rights owner? You can't put onesie in anything. No onesie. They will pull down your listing. Just like if you have Velcro and Velcro is actually on the actual item, you still can't use the word Velcro. They won't allow it.
Yep.
So onesie is a trademark word. So is Velcro. It's all trademarked.
Sometimes I'll find biker jeans that have Kevlar in them, and they're Kevlar, and you can't put that word, even though it's in it. Even though that's in it, you can't use that word.
Here's Trisha clarifying it. She said, I got a Vero on Nike Colon 2, only said I could use, I couldn't have two name brands in the title together. So maybe that's it too. You can't have two name brands in the title. I see people get away with like Tundra, Coogee, like. I think people sometimes get Veroed for those too because technically it's not Coogee. So people look up Coogee and find this and think they're getting Coogee, but they're really getting a Tundra. So
that makes sense because then it'll filter so many people out. People try to get so many people to their page by using tons of keywords. So that makes sense.
It's called keyword spam. I actually watched a video the other day. I think it was Rockstar. I watched his video and he was talking about another person who did a video on how to like hack the eBay system. And you put like keywords in your item, not description, but your item specifics. And there's one slot where you put a bunch of keywords in and it's supposed to trick the algorithm and basically push you to the top of search. And this lady like did all this research and found out that it did it, but you have to be careful because you can't do keyword spam. So you can't put too many keywords in there because otherwise eBay will pull it for keyword spam. So you gotta be careful.
That's deep.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. I just list my items. That's all I do.
That's deep.
Aren't there also some items that you can't ship outside of the U.S.? Yeah. Do you know any of those, Surfs?
Yeah, I always get anytime I list Levi's new with tags, they always take it down. They only take it down to international shipping. It's still listed in the U.S., but that's the only thing I think that I've listed.
Yeah, I was about to say the same thing. Levi's new with tags. You can still list Levi's pre-owned. You're completely fine. But as soon as they're new with tags, I think it's in Europe. There's a couple areas in Europe that have the rights to sell Levi's or something like that. So they don't allow you to sell there. I think now with the new eBay international shipping program, if you list Levi's, it'll automatically pull it from those specific areas and not allow you to ship it there. At least I haven't had any issues listing my new with tag Levi's recently. So. Let's see. I believe if you use Vendo, it won't let you list the Vero words in your listing. That's great. That's good information. Vero, Vendo doesn't allow you to do that. Do you think the impact of eBay lawsuit will do you think the impact of the eBay lawsuit will have on eBay sellers regarding allowing the selling of products that were negative impact on the environment air?
I think eBay has, if you look up eBay lawsuits, I bet they have hundreds a year. Yeah. Big ones.
Yeah. So I have no clue about this. I didn't even know about it.
I didn't either. I mean, any factory that makes anything's gonna, impact the environment in there. So
yeah.
I don't know. GMY, I guess we'll just have to see.
Yeah, that's weird. Here we go. Surf's internet looks great. KayWay looks like a Minecraft. It's probably because my internet's dropping. It looks good.
You have been Minecrafty. You've been glitching on me.
My internet has been garbage lately, so I can't fix it. I've done everything.
It's been that way since we started the bromance. I figured you'd change, but people never change, I guess.
Listen, okay, you have to fix me. That's the thing. You have to fix me.
Can't do that.
Oh man! Hopefully, when we do the store review, it's not that grainy because it's on my end. So next time, I guess we'll have to do it on your side. So I'm grainy and you're good.
Oh boy.
I heard you cannot sell OtterBox stuff on eBay. Yeah, I heard OtterBox is a Veroed item as well. They'll Vero you if you list them. So just be careful. If you get Veroed once, don't try to list it again and get away with it. You're gonna mess yourself up. So
yep.
Spectrum, it is Spectrum.
I haven't been Veroed in years, probably because I just know what not to put. So just be careful, like you said. Just try not to get it done twice. It's okay.
Yeah, the last one I got was the warning for the Levi's, like 4 or 5 months ago. They didn't Vero me. They just said, hey, don't be listing Levi's. You can't list them. This is a warning. And they actually pulled down like 3 of my listings. So I was like, okay, I just won't list these anymore. So I didn't technically get Veroed, but just be careful. If you get enough Veros, eBay can shut down your account. So you don't want that to happen.
No.
Poshmark pulled all my men's Docker sweaters listings because of counterfeit issues. It's supposed to be a brand name. Now I'm afraid to list Dockers. Well, for one, I don't list Dockers.
I don't either. I pass up on Dockers new with tags.
Yeah. Dockers is not. Where did they sell Dockers at?
Kohl's, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh, geez, that's even worse. Trisha's over here talking about me, looking like Bart Simpson. No, I think they sell Dockers at like Kohl's and places like that. And Dockers make great pants, but I don't sell them.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not good. Did you know I put in my video today that the brand Murano, if they are a collab with Baird McNutt, they actually sell pretty good.
Really?
I looked up comps. I went to Goodwill and I saw them. I felt them. I was like, man, these are nice linen pants. And I looked up comps for them, and they have 100% sell through rate, and they sell between 25 to $35, right between those two numbers.
So really, it's been the McNutt, because I find that in J. Crew and Brooks Brothers, and they always sell. So Murano, so linen Murano pants. So you guys feel that linen? You look it up, see if it has the McNutt in it.
I was surprised too. I looked it up. I was like, man, these actually have 100% sell through rate. I was like, I'm going to pick these up and give them a shot. If they start selling, that's good. Unfortunately, you have to feel them. You can't just like find them all the time, because the tag is all the way on the inside. The way I actually found it is I actually accidentally knocked it off the rack, and I went to pick it up and I felt it. And then I looked on the inside and I was like, wait, let me look this up really quick. So that was the thrift gods telling me to pick it up.
First of all, look at that. We're always finding new stuff. Second, look how nice you are to the picking stuff off the ground and putting it back on the hanger.
I despise people that go to Goodwill and literally just take all their stuff and like put it against their body and see if it's going to fit, and then throw it up on the top. Because then when I go down the aisle, I got to sit there and like, I got to stop and I got to move this stuff. Like,
and then the employee looks at you like you did that. You're like, no,
yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah. Let me see. We got any more questions in the chat? Hot topic right now. Thoughts on daily refinement controversy. Oh God.
Did you listen to the podcast In the Loop?
No, I haven't listened to their podcast yet. I'm sure Ethan touched on it.
He touched on it.
You go first. I'll let you go first, and I'll go.
Sure.
Second.
I'll say this. So Chris, the guy, Chris, whatever his name is, what's his last name? Daily Refinement. It used to be 10K on the Bay. So when I first started, he was just first starting. So I've kind of seen him all along the way. He is a hardworking businessman. I don't know what he does behind closed doors, but I've seen what he does and his ideas that he has, and they're good. And then on the other side is tech and sports, and he is like the GOAT with reselling. Like he's unbelievable. I think if you guys don't know him, he's basically for the last, I don't know, 12 years or something, 17 years, he's been reselling. He's been the number one reseller in all men's clothing categories. And he's been on the down low. You've never seen his face. You just hear his voice on a podcast. So I actually respect Tekken a lot, and what Chris has, what he's put out, I think he's put out a lot of good stuff if you want to really grow your business, like what you're doing, going down lots of different avenues.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I don't really have an opinion on it. I don't know these two guys. I don't know the person who's making accusations. It doesn't really affect me at the end of the day. I know a lot of people like to get wrapped up in this kind of drama and make it, what is this person doing? What is that person doing? I got to figure it out. I want to know the next piece of drama that comes out. I don't really care. I got too much stuff to do to worry about like other people's drama. But I will say I've watched Daily Refinement. I've watched a bunch of his videos. He's helped me out, learned some new things about business. Like you said, tech and sports, really, really OG, like knows what he's doing. He has his systems down. He's really somebody that you can learn from. I don't have an opinion on it. If the things come out, the accusations come out, guess what? At the end of the day, it doesn't affect me. It's only going to affect them at the end of the day. I have no business with them. I have no business making an opinion on it. They're all accusations at the end of the day until stuff comes out to light. But to be honest, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong. I'm just going to move on and do my business the way I do my business. So
that is true. But I tell you guys, I'm here for I don't like to be in drama, but I'm here for the drama. So I'll watch it play out.
You watch soap operas during the day, don't you? I knew you were a soap opera guy.
No, I don't watch soap operas.
You look like a soap opera guy. Is a Vero the same as a warning? I got a couple listings removed, but don't remember saying anything about a Vero. Vero is a little bit, I would say a little bit worse than a warning, because if you get enough of them, I think it's 4 in like a year's period of time, they'll pull your account. Basically, it's brands saying you're either selling fakes or you don't have the rights to sell their items. So just be careful with that. If you did get a Vero, it'll be in your email, or I think it'll be both in your email and in your eBay messages from eBay. So make sure you check on those to see. Unfortunately, there's no way to really fight a Vero. You can put in a request to the brand to pull down the Vero, but that's a whole process, and I wouldn't even bother with it. I would just leave it alone and just try not to list that same type of item again. So you don't really have to worry about it.
It's a copyright thing. So Vero, just think about it as being a copyright thing. You don't have the right to use their name.
Yep, 100%. Boom.
Ooh, know what? I'm telling you, she knows what.
She knows what's up.
She know what's up.
I'm going to tell you guys how fast those sell. I'm going to list them ASAP. They're actually probably going to get listed tomorrow. And if they sell quick, I might actually make a video on it because that's a brand that nobody picks up. But when it has a collab like that, it might be worth picking up and scooping. And there was only like, I think like 40 or 50 listed and then 40 or 50 sold. It was like a little bit more than sold than what was listed. So
now we're all going to be looking for, but there's not many out there.
Yeah, exactly. How do you pull something off your eBay? How do you pull something off your eBay list without getting it counted against you? How do you do that, Surfs?
Unless you're doing an auction and there are already bids on your auction, it shouldn't count against you one bit. You can delist your whatever you have on eBay, even if it's an auction and there's no one bidding on it, you can take it off and you won't have any dings or strikes against you. The only way you'll have a strike against you is if you have an auction with bids already on it.
Yep. Facts. And then, of course, if you cancel a listing after it's sold, don't cancel a listing after it's sold. Even if you just list it and it's sold and you're like, crap, I could have got more money for it, just ship it. Don't cancel it because you're going to get a ding on your account. Now, on Poshmark and Mercari, it's a little bit different. If I were to sell an item on Mercari and Mercari and eBay at the same exact time, I would cancel the Mercari and keep the eBay because there's not really any penalties to Mercari unless you're canceling like sale after sale after sale. They really don't care. I've never heard of anybody having their account pulled down for canceling an order here or there. Mm-hmm. Lucas asked, do you listen to the Tech Facebook podcast? I don't listen to a lot of podcasts because I simply just don't have time. I used to be a big podcast guy, but I just don't have time. Do you listen to a lot of podcasters?
When you're running the routes?
Yeah, I used to listen to every podcast you could think of, like the same ones every day, and then I'd find new ones because when I'm out there on the route, on the mail route, I have all the time in the world to just listen to podcasts.
Actually, I was going to ask you. I was going to bring this up earlier, so people actually know. But I try to listen when I can. Like today, when I was taking pictures of stuff, I listened to In the Loop, Ethan's podcast. But how many? Let's say we're up from 8 till midnight. How many of those hours are you doing not family or eBay or reselling things? I'm asking you that.
So from 8 to midnight, what? Okay, so from 8 to midnight, when am I not doing reselling stuff? Like 5 minutes when I go to the kitchen and get myself a drink and come back.
Yep. Yep.
Or go to the bathroom.
Yep. Same with me. So I think a lot of people, and I get it. They think it's like, oh, it's going to be easy, and it is easy. But we enjoy what we do. So like you always say, it doesn't feel like work, but it's a lot of work. So don't have a lot of time for that. I don't watch TV really.
I watched the Titans game, but now after they trade Derrick Henry, I'm probably not going to watch any more of those games either because I just can't put myself through it. But yeah, that's about all the TV. Like normally Sundays are my chill day, but unfortunately we're heading into the busy season, which means we're possibly going to be bringing on more Whatnot shows. So I might even lose my Sundays to business. So, and that's a sacrifice I'm prepared to make for the next couple months because like I said, we're headed into busy season. So the more sales I can pump in during this period of time, the more money I make, the more my family benefits. And then come January, February, I take a big vacation and just relax for a little bit. So yeah, but I'm constantly working. That's like when people like ask me, like, for example, the Jory benefit auction, I hopped into Kings of eBay's live the other day and he said, why don't you do like 5 auctions to try to get as much money as you can? Instead of doing 100 items, why don't you do like 50 items like 5 times? I was like, I don't think you understand. I barely have the time to do the 1 auction, let alone prepare to do 5 auctions. Like that's a lot. It's a lot of work. Just constantly working. I know you're constantly working too.
I don't even untie my shoes.
Yeah.
I leave my shoes tied.
He wears Velcro shoes.
Wear Velcro shoes. Sometimes I cross them to be cool. So So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there because I thought about that today. I'm like, I want to bring that up tonight just so people know that I know you, you know me, and there's no time really for ourselves other than our family, really.
So we learned something new today. We learned two things. Surf's Up, watches soap operas, and he wears Velcro shoes.
Oh.
Oh man, what is this? Y'all seen the news about orcas learning how to attack humans in their boats? Very scary. No, we
I don't
don't
watch
watch
the
the news.
news. I watch the news.
I think we just clarified we don't watch TV, so we haven't heard. But that, I'll stay away from. Unfortunately for me, we don't have orcas in Florida. They don't like warm water, so we don't have to worry about that. And Surfs is surrounded by land, so he doesn't have any. He doesn't have any orcas around him.
I like to think I'm by water.
Yeah, that's why your name is Surfs Up. Let's see. We got one from you guys. Ooh, a little Mercari sale.
I don't know that sound.
Cha-ching. That's a cha-ching you don't get very often. It's a little
Mercari.
Yeah, a little worse than an eBay cha-ching. I'm a little scared to buy shoes because I don't know if they're real or fake. Do you have key things you look for? You obviously don't pick up shoes too often, just like I don't pick up shoes too often. But how do you authenticate? Is there certain pairs you stay away from? How do you do that?
So actually, I love picking up shoes. The problem is I can't because they're overpriced here and they're putting them on shopgoodwill.com. But when I do pick up shoes, I'm picking up shoes that aren't typically faked. So we're talking like running shoes, like Hoka's, On Clouds, nice dress shoes. Like I'm not finding Gucci; those would be faked. I'm not finding Jordans; those would be faked. So those are the shoes that are not faked are the shoes that I'm looking for.
Yep. If I ever go to a Goodwill and I see a pair of Travis Scott Jordan 1 highs that I know resell for like $2,000, about 99 times out of 100, those are going to be fake. So everybody who has a pair of those shoes knows what they have. So the only chance those end up in a Goodwill is some crazy ex-girlfriend gets mad at their boyfriend and donates all of his shoes. Like that's the only chance that's going to happen. Like very, very rarely. So if I find one of those shoes, I normally look at it, I'll pick it up, but normally it goes right back on the shelf because the chances of that being real is like zero. For example, you found those Yeezys before, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that's a crazy
one.
Yeah, I wish you still had those too. I'd probably buy them off you, but like that's a once in a lifetime find. You're not going to find anything like that. Like, and if you do, it's normally always fake. There's the fakes right now are so good, but there are videos on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook that you can watch to learn how to authenticate shoes. Typically with like higher end Nikes, one is the weight. You can like pick it up and carry one Nike and the other Nike will be like off weight. They're very flimsy, so you can basically bend them like they're rubber. And then also the bottom of the soles you can push your finger on, and it's not like a thick sole. It's like a really rubbery sole. There's certain pairs of Jordans that if the tongue is really flat and not puffy, you can tell Jordan 4s are known for that. Like you can just touch the tongue. But these are things I've learned over the years, and these are things I learned from watching videos on like YouTube on how to authenticate shoes. So if you really want to get good at it, just watch a bunch of content. Like if you're laying in bed at night and you want to learn how to authenticate a pair of Gucci's, I'm sure there's like thousands of videos on YouTube on how to do that. So just watch some of that content.
I'm also going to say if you happen to get some shoes, some Jordans or whatever, and they're in your hands, there are a couple websites that you can send pictures to, and they will authenticate them for you.
Yep. Barry just did that yesterday. Buried Treasure. He found a Supreme hoodie and he texted me and he was like, hey, I got something good for my Whatnot auction. And I was like, dude, just make sure that's authentic. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, Supreme is one of the most faked streetwear brands because everybody knows it. And he's like, oh, how do I do that? So he actually had a service. He sent in all those to the service. They authenticated it and it ended up being real. But at least he's not going to sell a fake on Whatnot because you can get your account pulled for selling a fake.
And
so he's super careful.
And it was 12:30 this morning when we were in his Whatnot, and he put it up when he got the confirmation that it was real at 12:30 this morning. He put it live on his Whatnot show.
Yeah,
and it didn't sell.
$3,000. Everybody was telling him to run it, and he ran it. But he's like, all right, I'll run it, and he ran it for $3,000. And we're like, oh, nobody's gonna buy that for $3,000. In my opinion, the most difficult part of reselling is documentation, entering every item into a spreadsheet, saving receipts from thrift stores, supplies, especially when purchased online, taxes, etc. Tips. You got any tips for that, Surfs, on how to maybe make that a little easier?
I think there are a lot of different ways. I would say number one, if you're planning on making good money off this, well, anything really now over $600, get a CPA, get someone who can help you and tell you what to do, tell you what you need to keep, what you don't. But there are all sorts of tools now. There are the mile trackers you can get on apps on your phones. There are the receipt scanners you can do that you don't have to keep track of the receipts. You can scan it. There are all sorts of things. As far as spreadsheets, you use Jason Hayes's, right?
Yep, Jason Hayes spreadsheets, really, really good. Unfortunately, like they're saying, you have to put in every single piece into the spreadsheet. But yeah, I mean that's one bad part about business. If you work for a 9 to 5, there's always going to be pieces of that 9 to 5 you hate doing, and there's going to be pieces of the 9 to 5 that you like doing. If you can build your business up to where you can hire employees, what I would suggest to do is make that the first thing that you outsource. Make somebody else put all the stuff into your spreadsheet for you. That would help. But until you get to that point, it's part of growing a business. You got to do the things that you don't like to do. It's not all going to be fun. Titans still a football team. I'm not doing that. Wait, where did oh my God. Derrick Henry hasn't been traded yet, but there is rumors that he might go either to the Ravens or the Bucks. They're going to trade him in his last year of his contract. They're going to trade off the whole team and just try to rebuild, I guess. Let's just not talk.
Off camera, Wayne was crying to me today.
I was crying. Okay.
And by the way, officially, you're at 100,000 followers on Facebook. So
let me see this. Let's go.
And it's a Facebook, so it's not really about your content; it's more about your face. So 100,000 people like your face.
Yep, 100,001. We're officially over 100K. I think it still says 99. It'll say 99 for the next day, but tomorrow it should update. So,
hey, 2 or 3 people unfollow him real quick.
I hate you. Yeah, that's awesome though. I never thought in the beginning of this year Facebook would be the one platform that hits 100K first. I thought it was going to be TikTok. And then I started posting on Facebook, and like me and you were having a conversation today, like Facebook it's so much fun. There's so much you can do with TikTok. You just put out videos, you can do lives, but on Facebook, you can do so much more than that.
You're a teacher. Everyone knows. I mean, I tell you that all the time. And being able to interact with people, Facebook, YouTube too. There's some parts on YouTube you can, but Facebook, the interaction is so great. I love it. I love it. I'll put a lot more energy over there. Anyway.
So it's cool. 100K on my first platform, 100K. So let's go. Now it's TikTok next, but I don't know if I'm going to hit 100K before the end of the year because we only got 2 months and I need like 30K more followers. So I need like a couple viral videos, which I don't really try to make viral videos. I just try to make videos that help. So yeah, we'll see by the end of the year.
Put more Kayla in videos and they'll go viral.
Yeah, just put Kayla's butt right in the front of the video and it'll go viral.
They will.
Ever wanted to know, did they make the live? Did they make the live surfs? I think they did. I think they're here. Appreciate it. Thanks for everybody for saying congrats on 100K. You want to do a store review now? We got like 10 to 15 minutes. We can do a store review really quick.
Yes, let's do it. I'm excited about it. So you guys are just coming in earlier when I didn't have, if you're in here on my live, we were talking about, we're doing a store review probably once a week. So leave your stores or message us if you're ever interested. Obviously, we're getting a lot of messages, but kind of go over things. I'm excited about this part.
I'm going to take off the cameras really quick. Let me make sure this. I guess when I take you off, nobody can hear the audio.
Yeah, you just ghosted me.
Damn. Okay, so I guess we'll stay at the bottom of the screen. Who cares?
Yeah, no problem.
Never mind. All right, so this person reached out to you, right? Surfs?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so if you guys didn't know how you look at a store, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom, and that's going to show their whole store, and then you can search it just like you search a regular eBay. You have the search functions over here. If you do it on the phone too, you can do it the same way on the phone. You just got to open up all their listings, and then you can filter for used, filter for sold, filter for all that kind of stuff. So let's get in. Let's just go into this first listing right here.
Sure.
So first listing is St. John's Bay men's XL flannel shirt. Opinions right off the bat. What do you got?
Right off the bat, again, constructive criticism.
Mm-hmm.
I like the second picture on there. I like better the one below it. I mean, the Polar Ralph Lauren. But I like an up close. I want to see the label. I want to see the colors right away. I want to see right away what it's going to be. That far away, there's a million bajillion plaid shirts, and that far away look, they all look the same.
Yep. Yeah, I'll say this. I pick up absolutely zero St. John's Bay when I'm outsourcing. So this is not an item I would pick up. And if I were to look up sell-through rate on St. John's Bay, I'm pretty sure that it's probably got a horrible sell-through rate. And they're probably, even the flannels right now probably aren't selling for 18 plus $8.95 shipping. So altogether, this person would be paying almost $30 for a St. John's Bay flannel. It's just not a brand that I would typically pick up and sell. Do you pick up any St. John's?
I don't pick up any. I've seen a couple people pick. I guess there's a vintage St. John's, but I don't even mess with any of it.
Yep. The title is good. I would take out this comma and I would take out the and, because you're just wasting two characters. You don't really need commas in a title. You can just put red, white, blue, plaid, and it'll be perfectly fine. But other than that, the title is good. You got lots of keywords in there. You got the color. Maybe if you took those two out, you might have room to put like cotton or something like that. I also don't see on the right here, it says brushed flannel. So that's something I would probably put into the title, because that's probably a keyword that people would look up if they're looking up for St. John's pieces.
I like the title as well. Yeah, the comma, whatever. Yeah, but I like
another thing is
the
this
name, shirt, men's, size, just like we talked about earlier. Right.
Putting in the measurements right here in the photos. I don't do this. I put in the description, but I know you do it in your photos, correct?
Hold on. All I see is the front. I don't see what you're seeing.
Maybe I have to click on it. So now do you see it?
Nope. I'm just seeing the first page.
Oh, hold on. That's why. Whoops. I'm sitting over here doing all kinds of stuff and you guys can't see it. Give me 1 second.
There's your face again. 100,000.
This is what I was showing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So that's not the cover photo, right?
This is the cover photo right here.
I'd rather have that last one as my cover photo, or even the one below that.
Yep.
Yeah, I like that one, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah, and like I was saying, $18.77 plus $8.15 shipping for a St. John's piece is a little too high. You can see it over here, the description or the title. You do this right? You do the ruler in your photos. Yep, that's good. I do mine in my description because we take hanging photos, but either way works perfectly fine. Let me see the description, see how the description looks like. I think this is all the description. So you just copied. That's completely fine. I know some people put a little bit more in their description, but as long as you have the title in there, I think that's perfectly fine. And that's the first listing. So let's go back out. I think it's going to boot us back out when I do this. Yep. You want to look at the Ralph Lauren right below it?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. There we go. All right, I'll let you start the critique.
All right. So all right. So for me, the cover photo on this one is better than the last.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say that. And then I will also say the title is nice, but it's not a button down, I don't think. It's a button up.
Yep. It's
button down when the collar's button down. So that's just one of those things. It's not that big a deal, but it's one of those things that once you know one time, you won't do it again. And then I don't sell women's Ralph Lauren stuff, and I don't get $30 for my men's.
Yeah, another thing is too, it has a flaw. So even with the flaw, this is priced, I would say, way too high. I would say personally, if I were to sell this, and if I were to pick this up, this is not a piece I would pick up either. But if I were to pick this up, I'd list it for like $10 maybe.
Yeah.
Simply because it has a flaw. You're like top end of the market. If we were to look up just Ralph Lauren, let's just look it up really quick. Lauren, Ralph Lauren, long sleeve,
button shirt,
women's. I think I misspelled Lauren.
Sorry,
that's okay. Let's just go down here and filter for sold. Let's just go use. There's 11,000 currently listed. I did spell Lauren wrong. That's why it's not pulled. Laurn. What am I doing? All right. Filter for used. 11,000 listed. And then we're going to filter for sold. and then you're going to see it's about a 50%, a little lower than 50% sell-through rate. And then we're going to scroll down, and you're going to see there's certain pieces like this that are going for good money, right? That's a piece that even you, Surfs, if you saw that in a
Staple
story,
piece.
you might look it up. But look at this one. That's not the same color, but it's kind of similar to the piece that you have. And that one sold for $12.99 plus shipping. And the shipping is even lower, I believe, than yours was. I think yours was at 8 something. So altogether, that piece is like a third of your price. And I think, does that mean it sold for $5.99 or $12.99?
That's really weird. I don't know, but either way.
Yeah. It's another similar one. Sold for 22 plus ship, but this one doesn't have a flaw. Got to remember that too. So the price will drop. It's also a good size too. It's a size 2X. Yeah. $14. So yeah, your price like double what I would say that this should actually be going for.
And most of these that I'm seeing are unique too. So if we were to look up the unsold or something like that, I bet we'd see a lot more like that. Yeah, see all the patchwork and the colors, the sleeves, all those. And that sleeve one only went for 15.
Yep. And that's a good one too, because it's got those leather sleeves. But this is a women's piece. If this was a men's piece, it would have probably went for around 30. But because it's a women's piece, it goes for a little bit less. So another thing, we'll hop back to the listing really quick. Let's see if I can get back in there. Come on, show me the listing. There it is. Well, another thing, I know this is kind of being a little extra picky, but the photo is not in square mode. So you can see how it has these lines on the outside. It's super easy to just put your phone in square mode and it'll fill out this picture completely. And it looks really clean on most phones and most computers. So if you just switch it to square mode really quick while you take these photos, and it'll make your listing look a little bit better.
Yep. If you don't know how to do that, we talk about it often.
Yep. Let's go through some of the sales really quick. So here's a brand new. So this is, okay, let's go into this a little bit. I'm not going to go into this listing. We'll just look at it from the outside. But this is a brand new Lauren Ralph Lauren that you took a best offer on of 28 plus ship. But the one with a flaw you had listed for almost the same price plus ship. So I don't really know where your mindset is behind that. Like, are you thinking the same thing, Surfs?
I can't see it, but
oh, damn, my bad. I don't know why I can't. It should just automatically do this. Boom. All right, this one right here. So it's pretty much
that's new with tags.
New with tags. Took a best offer and it's lower with no flaw.
Yeah.
And it's priced differently. So one thing I would stress is, Tam, I would be looking up comps when you're listing items, because it looks like you're just pricing kind of randomly. And if you price according to comps, you might see some better sales.
Yep.
But some of these sold for good money. I mean, Judy Blues, this is a good pickup right here.
Yeah, both of those are really good pickups. I bet those sold quick with the flare. Those are super in right now, guys.
Yep. Got some birdies down here, another really good brand. So you know what you're doing. You're picking up good stuff. It's just some of these items, you know what, I would just like liquidate them or just get rid of them because I don't think they're going to sell. But these, obviously, you know what you're doing here. Lucky brand. You got a really nice Kansas City women's Ariat boots. Look at that sale. That's a really good one. $115.
Mm-hmm. And the pictures, those aren't bad pictures, especially the shoes, like those boots right below that, 58. Those are good.
Mm-hmm. I like these photos too. Again, I would probably just take a little bit of a closer up photo of those to be your cover photo. Kind of like this. Like this is kind of like style you do, right?
Yep.
Yep. Take a close up photo right there. One thing you'll see if you go to my store, you go to Surf Store, is you seek consistently the same angle photos. Like if you're looking through your sales, they're all different angles of either shoes or shirts. But if you had all of these like lined up the exact same, it makes your store look more uniform. And I think people will buy from you more because they like that uniform look. There's another one that's pretty good. Nice close-up photo of the tag.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go back into the store really quick. Do one more really quick. If you see any you want me to pick, just shout it out.
I'll say this though, the lighting is good.
Yep.
The lighting is good. No shadows. You're seeing all the colors. So you got the lighting down. That's for sure.
Yeah, this is a good one. Nice little Roar shirt. We'll open this one up. Hang on, I got to switch it. It's a good photo. Good cover photo. Shows all the embroidery on it. Nice big back embroidery. I love the Roar shirts with a big back embroidery on them. It's all in all a nice piece. The one thing I'll say is there's no fabric tag photo in here either. So you might want to take a fabric tag photo because some people are like picky when they say like they want cotton or they want spandex. So just one extra little photo you can take. But this listing looks good. I like this one.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't put the quotations around worth though. I'll take those out. No need for quotations. The shipping seems kind of high though, doesn't it? $8.15 for shipping.
Well, yeah, I guess would that be to you in Florida? Still,
yeah.
That's like a 10-ounce shirt, right?
Yeah, 10-ounce shirt. So maybe she's setting it for 15 ounces, like we said before.
Yeah,
and safe. That ends up being $8.15. But if I were to go buy this shirt, that's the first thing I'd look at and be like, why is it $8.15? It should be more like, $6 or $7 instead of $8.15. Looks a little bit on the high side, but does this have any measurements? That's one thing I'm not seeing either. No measurements in this listing at all. And then also no measurements down here. So that's another thing. I saw the other
down there in the description. So blend, which is good, but yeah. So the measurements are that'll turn someone away really quick. There's 50 for the chest size.
Yeah, chest size 50 inches. That must have been from somebody else's listing she copied because I don't know how she's getting 50 inches. Unless she's doing 25 and 25.
Yeah.
But either way, you should just take that ruler and throw it on there, or just take your measurements. For this one, just do a pit to pit, shoulder to shoulder. So seam to seam, shoulder to shoulder, and then a top to bottom. That's normally what I do for shirts. Some people do the sleeve measurements too. I typically don't. I just do the pit to pit, top to bottom.
That almost looks like a different listing than the other ones. I wonder if that one's older.
Probably. Yeah. Probably. But there. That's a pretty nice critique. We weren't too mean.
It's all helping. And we could go through my store and do the same thing, but yeah. So out of that store, I would say, yeah, the make sure you have measurements. Measurements are very, very important.
Yeah, I wonder if I can look up your store really quick. I think I don't know how to do it on the computer. It's so annoying to try to look up people's.
Sandy said it was listed at Polo Ralph Lauren. Yeah, make sure you guys listed exactly. I can't see it now. But Polo Ralph Lauren and Laurel Ralph Lauren are very different. They're very different. And there are enthusiasts for Polo Ralph Lauren. So be careful when you put that stuff in. You don't want to lose money selling the wrong thing.
All right, let's critique them. First off, horrible photos.
He was like, dude, like, you can't even see your faces. Like, that's not me.
99.9%.
I literally just looked. It's on my screen right now. I'm like, when is that thing going to be taken off? It's been almost a year. I can't figure it out.
Oh, man. Disgusting.
I know.
I can't believe you. Let's go down to the bottom first before we start going through all this. Let's see how these look. Look nice. Ooh, wait. Yeah, that's money, but that's good. I just listed one of these. What is that? Hold on. I got to look at this one really quick.
They call it a peasant, right? Maybe or something like that.
I don't know.
Pheasant.
Okay. There's one with the outdoor hit right there. It says Polo Ralph Lauren Outdoors or something like that. And that one's worth good money. I think I just listed one for like close to $100. It looks exactly the same, except the hit on the front is a little bit different.
Does the tag say Sportsman? I wonder.
Yes, that's what it says. Yes.
Yeah, those are, again, see Polo Ralph Lauren enthusiasts, like that line.
Look at that. Look at that crisp photo. I can't believe your regular lights give you that kind of photo.
The box lights just didn't work out. And I'm so much quicker with the pictures that you take makes the items pop much better, but I'm just so much more efficient with this that I feel like for me, it makes up the difference.
It almost looks like a fake background, like how good this photo is.
But it's weird because I did take that with a square mode. It doesn't look like it.
No, see, this is square mode. See how it fills out this? There's no siding right here. Yeah. See, on her photos, there was siding. So when you go through on the phone, it's all the photos will be filled out. Whereas this on the computer, they always have this on the outside. There's no way to fix it.
Go back. Let's look, because people ask me all the time lately. I don't know about you, but they're like, how do you sell these Polo Ralph Lauren's? I'm not selling them. I'm not selling them.
All
So
right.
like,
You want to go to your solds?
I mean, you can just look at those right there.
Let's go
But
to your solds. Look at
yeah.
this.
So what I tell people,
Look at that. Three in a row.
so like obviously those are different, the two gingham check ones. But the one up top has the newer tag, and I like to put the tag in the picture with the color of the pony and the size. You can see everything just from that picture. You don't even have to read the title.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one below it, the tag was older, so I like to do just a close-up of just the pony and just the. But you see, there's a difference between that, what we were talking about earlier with that, and then the shirt just way in the back. You know, you don't get a really good close-up view. If someone's on their phone, it's tough for them to see it real close.
Yep. And then you got this one down here. Now talk about the price difference. Why did you price these differently?
The top two?
No, not the top two. The top two from the bottom one.
Oh, yeah. The bottom one is it, which you know why. But it has it's a rugby. So that collar and the seam where the buttons come down are very thick. So that is a rugby style long sleeve polo right there. Yep. So you can see they have the rubber buttons, and those sell for more. They always bring over 30. If you have those little rubber buttons and it's a little bit thicker in that when it's coming down from the collar, the Henley part, whatever you'd call that.
Mm-hmm.
So
also,
look at that. How many pictures do I have?
5 pictures.
5 pictures, front, back. And like you said, I could do, but if it's usually just cotton, I don't take a picture of my tag, the tag of the material.
Mm-hmm.
If it's just cotton. But yeah, I just simply take 5 pictures when it comes to Polo Ralph Lauren, that people know what they're looking for when they come into this item.
This person's gonna look like a bumblebee. That's all I'm thinking right now when I look at this. It literally looks like a bumblebee. This also is long sleeve too, so it plays in like this season right now. These are obviously going to sell for a little bit more because they're long sleeves, and people are picking up long sleeves right now.
But, and sometimes people could put L/S shirt, which would be long sleeve. But again, I always think of my parents when buying stuff, and they wouldn't know what L/S means.
Yeah.
So I try to spell stuff out when I can.
Yep. Let's see. Got some shoes down here. Ooh, 100. What'd you sell those for? Best offer.
100.
100. Nice. What'd you pay for them?
$5. That actually, that's the 4th one that I've sold out of the 4.
I've never heard of this brand. Belgian shoes.
Just show everybody. Look, okay. A lot of people might have seen it, but they're the most basic. Bearded and I actually fought over. He ended up getting 6 pair. We saw him, and we were like, that's nothing. He looked up the comps, and we looked at each other, and we just beelined it for all the racks. But look, they literally weigh 8 ounces, I think. You never would think. So that's just one of those things that looks a little unique, a little different. You could tell they were leather and quality. So gave it a look up, and bam.
That's crazy. I would have probably passed right by these. Passed right by them. There's the inside, and then that's the tag you're looking for right there. Belgian shoes.
And that's the thing. You would type in Belgian shoes. I'm like, there would be a billion that pop up. Nope. That's Holland shoes. A lot of Holland shoes pop up.
Weird. Weird. Well, that was a good little store review. We'll do more of these. Maybe next week we'll pull another one, or maybe we'll make it bi-weekly. We're still playing by ear, but hopefully you guys learned a little bit from that store review. Learned a little insights to what we think about when we're making listings and stuff like that. And of course, we both have our stores linked in our bio, so you guys can go through at any time and look at our stores. And the same thing I just did with Surfs is I just went right to the bottom, hit see all, and then you can filter for sold, and you can see everything we've sold for the last 90 days. So you can learn a little bit about what's selling for us too. So like you said, those people are saying Polo Ralph Lauren doesn't sell. This is exactly what I did when I listened to his video, and I was like, I thought the same thing. Polo Ralph Lauren doesn't sell. I went to his store and I did the same exact thing, and I saw the same exact thing you guys saw. 3 sales back to back to back, and I was like, what the heck is this guy doing to get these to sell? But they sell.
I think pictures have a lot to do with that.
Yep. 100%.
Shoot, what was I going to say? Yeah, I don't know. Also, not perfect. Someone on Facebook, I think, contacted me and said, "Hey, you listed this item and the shipping is $188." And so I went in and I had it as like 200 pounds. I'm like, thank you. So we all make mistakes.
Yeah.
And I'm glad. So my point is, thank you for going and looking at my store and critiquing it, because it helps me out too.
It helps me out too. I had somebody the other day. I had a men's North Face jacket listed as a women's North Face jacket, and we had just listed it like a day or two before. And I know a lot of people go in every day and see like what I'm listing new, so they caught it right away. And it was my mother-in-law listed it, and she must have accidentally put women's instead of men's. And then I finalized the listing, and I didn't catch it either. So I was like, oh crap! I went through and switched it on all the platforms. So yeah, I make mistakes all the time. It happens all the time. Yeah. I don't think we got any questions there. I wasn't really paying attention to chat, obviously, because I was doing the thing.
Jared has a good question.
This one right here.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you do shoulder to shoulder if the top to bottom? Why do you do shoulder to shoulder? I just do top to bottom and pit to pit. Especially for guys. Guys have broad shoulders sometimes, bigger guys, like by guys that actually have muscles on their arms, and they want to make sure that their arms and their can fit in their shirts. So if they have like really wide shoulders, they measure their shoulders and they see if they can fit into the item they're buying. So it's a really quick measurement. It takes like an extra 2 seconds to just go boom, boom. It's like just moving one up. So that's why I do that measurement. I know a lot of people do top to bottom, pit to pit. That's completely fine too. But that extra 2 seconds limits me from having a couple extra questions like, what's your shoulder to shoulder measurement? So that's why I do it. You don't do shoulder to shoulder, do you?
I don't, other than on blazers and suits.
Yep. And same thing, I don't do sleeve measurements, but I do sleeve measurements on blazers and suits. That's the only time I do a sleeve measurement.
Ditto. Have to have those.
Here's a good one. You can explain this one.
Can you explain button up versus button down? Yeah. So usually I have everything around, but a button down polo will be, I could probably get one. Do you have one?
I got one right here.
Okay. So there you go. He's going to show you the buttons on the collar are buttoned down to the shirt. That's called a button down. If there are no buttons right there, it's just called a button up shirt. Mm-hmm. So it's not that big a deal, but once you get it like you know now, so everyone in here knows, it's easy to put button up or down.
Yeah.
So
I get questions too. Like if I just take the photos and I just put button shirt in the title, I'll get a photo like, does it have buttons underneath the collar? Because some people like those. They like to be more formal and have it buttoned down. So yeah, it's just a simple button up, button down. It'll limit that. It's just a couple extra letters that you put in.
There's a question. Someone has asked, how do you ship hats? There you go. Kim, thanks for the question. That's a good question. Hats it's important to keep the hat firm and not bend it. So this is an eBay box. You can use it on anything, but I always ship it out in a box. I usually always just put it in a simple poly mailer and I put it in this box, sometimes with a bubble wrap or sometimes with not. And it's still under a pound almost every time. It is under a pound every time.
What size box is that?
This is a eBay box,
10
by 8 by 6, but there's smaller ones.
Yeah, I use the 8 by 6 by 4 is the one I use for hats. I actually just shipped out a bunch of hats yesterday from the Whatnot show, and I use 8 by 6 by 4s. And then if there were like people bought multiple hats, the box I use for multiple hats, because on Whatnot you have to use priority mail, is the square USPS box. I don't know what the dimensions are, but it's like the perfectly square one. And that if you put like 2 hats into a poly bag, you can fit those both into that square box and it's over a pound. So use the free USPS shipping if you can. But I always put it into a clear bag, into the box. I know some people just take their hats and throw it into a poly bag and ship it out, but that's how you get the brim of the hat to get squished or bent, and then the buyer wants to return it. So always I would suggest put them into boxes.
Yep.
We got a couple. We'll answer a couple more questions and then we'll head off. Do you recommend ignoring people asking questions about sizing, especially when photos has measurements? Do you answer all those extra measurement questions?
It's funny because there might be some people on here, but KayWay was doing a live maybe a month or two ago, and right in the middle of the live, he had a question. He guy's like, "Man, I just did this shirt. I'm going to get it out and take the measurements, but usually people don't buy those. They always just ask for the measurements and you never hear from them again. So he took the measurements, typed them in, and the person bought it. So
Never happens, by the way.
it never happens, but it just depends. If it's a $20 Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, I'm not going to take the time to measure it.
Yep.
Because a lot of times in the beginning, at least, when those things I take the measurement, say they're flake out, or I'll send it to them and they have a discrepancy about the item.
Yep.
So if it's a big item like a $100 blazer, yes, I'll go take an extra measurement for them.
Yeah. The other thing I ignore is when people say something like, hey, is that a stain on the front on the first photo down at the bottom left? I don't answer them because you know what's going to happen is they're going to order it and they're going to find that stain if there was a stain. Normally there isn't, but that opens yourself up for return. So I just ignore that person because that's just like they're looking for something to return that item for. So yeah, I just ignore that. But when it comes to measurements, typically I have remeasured probably 50 items in my 5+ years of reselling. I've had like maybe 1 or 2 people actually come back and buy that item. So I typically don't take remeasurements. I just tell them refer to the measurements, especially if it's a shirt or a polo that I have free shipping and free returns on, or I have charge shipping and free returns on. They can return it for free if they want to, and they get a full refund. So I won't answer them because they get a full refund. So if they bought it and they paid shipping, I would just refund everything to them. So it says it in the listing. Let's see. Y'all talk about the upcoming Whatnot shows this weekend. Excited for all, but isn't Surf's first show. So you want to talk about that?
No, we don't need to talk about that on here.
Okay.
Don't need to talk about that.
I have a show on Friday, Saturday, if anybody wants to come out for that show. Friday, Saturday. While Friday show is completely loaded, we're giving away the candy corn dunks. Saturday is a jacket show. We're going to load that one up tomorrow.
All right, I will talk about it.
Talk about it. Yeah, talk about it.
I'll tell you guys. I only sell on eBay, and I've said I'm not interested in doing Whatnot at this time, and I've been saying that forever. And what I've been doing this whole year, I've been getting women's clothing. I'm like, I want to be able to go to a rack and know everything on that rack that's worth money and take it, because I only went to the men's section. So now I'm going to the women's section. And as the year's gone on, I'm like, I really don't like listing women's clothing, but I know what to pick up. So I had a conversation a couple of days ago with my wife, and I'm like, you know what? What are the thoughts on running a Whatnot? Just all these I had totes of women clothing. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to run a Whatnot, all women's clothing. I don't even really care that much about, I'm not trying to make a ton of money off of it. Hopefully resellers can get it or someone that actually wear the item. But it's November 5th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that's where I'm going with that. It's not going to be like a normal way of income, but it's going to be like if I see women's clothing and I know it's good, I'm going to pick it up. But for example, today I was talking to someone. It takes me 5 to 10 minutes to list a dress because of all the specifics. Mm-hmm. When for a men's shirt, it takes me a few minutes, if that. So time wise, I like to be efficient, and I just can't do women's clothing.
Yeah, I think you'll have fun with it. You obviously ran Bearded show. You ran the whole show basically, so you know how to run a Whatnot show. Yeah, you'll be fine. I think it's a good idea to just bring those ladies items that you don't like listing. And there's a lot of ladies that buy on Whatnot too. So you can grow a following there with just bringing your ladies pre-owned stuff. You have pre-owned and new stuff, right?
Yeah. Tons of pre-owned new. And I don't pick up, it's all like Lululemon and all that sort of stuff.
Yep.
So there's a couple more.
Yeah, we'll get 2 more in. Question. Do you sell a lot of items at Chili? I noticed it's random, but I'm always selling items to people there. I don't know. I ship through eBay's international shipping program, and to be honest, I don't really pay attention to where it's going. I just know it's going to them, and then it's going overseas. What about you?
Yep, I ship to Illinois.
Yeah,
Illinois Distribution Center.
Yep, and that's where it goes. I don't know after that. To be honest, I probably get like 10 items a month that goes through the global shipping or the international shipping program. It's not really that much, so I can't say I'm getting a ton to go to Chile at all, to be honest. We'll take this as the last question. This is a good one. Can I use a priority box to ship USPS Ground Advantage?
Answer it, mailman.
No, you can't use. The priority mail boxes are specific to the priority mail label system. So if you get a priority mail padded flat rate envelope, you have to buy that padded flat rate envelope priority mail label. Not even There is wording that says you can do regular priority mail on some of those envelopes, but I would just always use a padded flat rate envelope label, medium flat rate box. I was use a medium flat rate label. If you ship with a regular priority mail box that's not flat rate, you have to use the weight and dimensions, put that into your eBay listing or put it into your label and then charge it and buy your label that way. But you can't use ground advantage on priority mail. It will get caught. And if it gets returned to you, you'll have to pay the postage to receive it back. If it makes it to the customer will pay a postage due when they get it. Normally, those never make it through. They always get caught every single time.
I'm sitting here looking. I wanted to end with a bolo.
Let's go. Bolo.
Well, you've already kind of said one, so I'm not going to let you use that one again. But that is a good one. The Murano with the McNutt linen.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's a good bolo. So do you have another bolo for the chat?
Go with yours first. I'll get a second to think about mine.
Oh man. So I found these shorts this week. I've never found them before, and I don't know if I will again. I don't know if you guys probably can't see them, but Warren Lotus shorts.
I've heard of it. That's a
and it's just a W, and you can bring it on the screen. WL is all I saw, but they were thick. They had some crazy like street art looking stuff on it.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm really bad with all this new like streetwear stuff.
Yeah. How long ago did you sell those? I'm trying to find it on your eBay store, but I don't see it.
It's on auction.
Oh, it's on auction?
Yep, 99 cents. I don't think
you haven't sold it yet, or is it sold?
No, I just listed it.
Oh, okay, I got you.
But the comps are decent.
Hang on, I'm going to look up something else. Warren Lotus. Okay, yeah, I know what this guy is. Okay, yeah.
They're so expensive. I bought their t-shirts during the pandemic. There you go. Yeah.
These are shoes. These are actually, I think these got pulled because Nike pulled them because they look too much like Dunks. So he had to go. He's going through some legal trouble with Nike. But yeah, he's a streetwear designer. So these are some of the Nikes that he does right here.
See that WL with the skull in between on the box?
Yeah.
That's the tag.
Mm-hmm.
Up there on the white box.
Oh, right here?
Yeah, that's the tag that is on those shorts. They're upstairs, but yeah, so that's a bolo for me. Never found that brand before.
Warren Lotus. Man, that's a good one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to top that one. I was going to do something simple, but then you had to come out with something like that.
No. And I'm sitting here thinking and I haven't thrifted a lot this week, but the McNutt is good. That's a good one. I would have never looked for that one.
Yeah, I was going to do something like polar bear pieces. I was literally just going to get polar bear pieces.
We all know that one.
Yeah. I did a post today. I guess I can use that one if you guys haven't seen it on my Facebook page and my Instagram page. But Purple Label Ralph Lauren. So I picked up a Purple Label Ralph Lauren suit for $6.96, and I sold it for $144 plus shipping, and it took about a month or two to sell. Really good. Always look out for the Purple Label Ralph Lauren, Black Label Ralph Lauren, Double RL. Those are all really good ones to look out for. Takes a little bit to sell them. You got to look for that right person. But thrift stores miss them because it just looks like a normal Ralph Lauren label. It's just purple. I think they're all made in Italy, right?
Yeah, the Purple Label are.
Yeah, so Purple Label made in Italy. Fabric's a little bit better. People pay up for them. And thrift stores miss them because it just looks like a normal Ralph Lauren label. It's just not blue. It's purple. So typically, if you go to like a Goodwill, you can find them pretty cheap. I actually found that one in red, white, and blue. They missed it. Yeah, $6.96 into $144. So that was a good sale.
Heck yeah.
What are those Warren Lotus? Where are they at right now on auction? What's the bid?
I think I just listed them, so probably nothing.
Okay.
You know me. I roll the dice when it comes to like stuff like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But yeah, that I just think we should end it with a bolo every week, something we found maybe in the past week or something like that.
Next week I'll be more prepared. I'll have a better bolo than Warren Lotus. I'll come up with a better one.
I like your bolo because it's probably something we can find. I've never found this. I've never found McNutt Merino linen.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, everybody. I think we'll go ahead and head off. Appreciate you guys coming back again for another week. We'll be back at this again next week. If you guys missed it and you're just hopping in right now, you can feel free to go watch the whole thing. It's either on mine or Surf's YouTube and Facebook. Sorry, I burped. YouTube and Facebook. You can watch on both, and make sure when you're on either one you're watching on, make sure you hit that like button on both platforms, because it helps us out with the algorithm. It'll get more people in here, more questions, and we'll be able to help more people. So, you got any last words for the peeps?
No, just appreciate everyone being here. Our vision is kind of being like a live podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So a live vlogcast, and have people come in, not make people pay for it, and answer questions. So
exactly.
Yep.
All right, everybody. Appreciate you hanging out, and we'll catch you next week.
Peace.